Hello. Um, Hello. Today is the 16th of March, 1 o'clock and 6 minutes in the afternoon of Cricklewood in the year 2023. The word of the week is wall for that, which is for the third week of the month, which is always talking in the third week about trying to get a little bit of contour and shape of what is this formation. Um, was watching some comedians and people's creativity, and it's really nice out there. Um, People have their self interests, and I was like, well, I have created the rules of role play into virtual reality for what bonds the tissue of reality through many writers, composers of multiple forms of art that come together through the eighth art, as I have named it. And everything that's done is, as I have said here right now, is by me and thanks to all those creators before me. In the same way, all those people who follow Jesus. We are embarked into this life, which could have as many walls as pathways. So when you're constructing, and you might think that, well, but, and then you will name other parts of the walls, because this is a ceiling, and this one is a floor, and there is a wall. And yet depends on what part of the story you are telling, which walls are you talking. Some people in English recall that for the uterus, the walls, and I was like, I get lost in translation. I lose the erotica line when I read walls. So anyway, you could jump out and keep reading erotica, and maybe that's a hard thing, because you could perform a lot, but when it comes to writing, like, oh my god, I can write it. Yeah, because one thing is to do it, another thing is to write it. For that took me 2 years to break through. No matter if you're a professional, I mean, not lover, but kind of like illusionist. Well, let it flow. The wind is blowing beautifully. The pages are falling. The windows are open. There's sunshine here. I wish to go because I have a lot of paranoia and I don't want to die here. Be a friend of nobody who doesn't pay my work and is just using my work to get money and triangulate me with these people. So they pay them like, oh yeah, here, have free organization, also an organization that's in a letter, so you can inspire to do that. All right, as my father said, do not tell people what to do, because they know very well what to do in their profession. You just depict the picture, so they just kind of like take the movements towards the direction they might consider. But you kind of know, but it could even be better. So it's a respectful way of talking to higher hierarchies. So whatever. I mean, so walls, we can go from one floor to another within these walls, and there are floors and steps and stairs. Was thinking, gosh, like, because I have so many stories for the stage that I'm writing the purgatory for gluttony, and I was thinking like I should put some other religions there in the Bible, and then I was just listening to some video about La Alhambra. My mother took us like 3 times to Granada. It's a beautiful castle in the south of Spain, very beautiful with waterfalls. And my mother has taken us everywhere, and I owe her so much happiness and love. The It's not an illusion because I am alive thanks to her. So I'm gonna close the window. I was talking about paradise. So the next stage is the lustful, but it has also, so I have to close this level of gluttony, which is also opulence and excess love. So I must also bring rounded side towards the other side, which is generosity, and it is the opposite of gluttony, because this is not just in hell where you're paying it unconsciously. You are in the purgatory, the same circle of the same circle in the lower part of the depiction of hell, and these are just storytellings. Yeah, it's not like the story of all you can change the map of the Hades and the purgatories and the hells, and recreate many other realms. I have created realms. I have created. I have. I cannot talk about it because it's. You have to be in hell to. You have to be role playing in hell to because they are contemporanean scenes which didn't exist. So I have created with sticks and Hela, the Nordic goddess. My Nordic goddess Hela got hacked as well lately. So well, because this goes to my straight email. This is not a. These were not these were not that I didn't log in 6 months because I keep check on how when did I log last time, and it goes to my main email. So don't like anyone dominating my domain or think that has any power over me or my creation. So well, so I sound like crazy for my daughter because she doesn't know what's going on, and I tried to explain her, but I only wish to bring evidence to her and my mother. But I would like to make them happy with the fruits of my work. I don't want to be working like this. I don't consider this work. And praying is like, yeah, but I have other things to do than just praying. I really love what the Pope Francis said to respect the Orthodox Church in Ukraine. And I don't know why, but I have these ideas when I am resting. They just come, um, and then I see them on the on the news, and it's like a reflection of what's going on. Because it hurts to think that this is not a war about the Roman Catholic Apostolic Church wanting to Christianize with Catholicism Russia, or that is against communism, as some priests might say, because this has been the stories of the past. And we are not made as the Roman Empire, even though the Roman Empire took what all these people were shouting for, because the Roman Empire was falling, but is there are connotations of the Roman Empire with the Catholic Apostolic, and all this biological growth of differences, and you can't stop that with in this world, that creative bending promises to that push you to change and to create something of your own. Yet there is something beautiful that unites us as well. So the voice that could have been carried within could bring a better passage to all of us, is if we hold our hands to not just pray for peace, but just pray for a good fuck. Then I was thinking about certain things, and I'm in my bed, kind of like, my daughter said if I need food, so I didn't say anything. I really just told her to get me out of here, because I don't want to be doing nothing. So, as when I go to work, I always say I am not a friend of anyone. Yeah, I can make you laugh. I can be nice to you as you're nice to me. But I really like that things are being well done, and we can enjoy our life while we're working. But because people want to make friends, to get votes, to get groupie, to have followers, to push others away, and these attitudes have to end. If you call that a friendship, so I don't like the arrogance that I have and others have, and I love to laugh. That has been kind of like my lifestyle. My mother, I said this before, my mother wanted me to be a comedian. So you're really good, many people. Hey, you're a comedian. I used to make people laugh in the floor with pain in the belly, and go on and on to get in that stage. And sometimes I thought, no, I want to be a lady. I don't want to be known as a comedian, because that should be just your day-to-day life, a little joke sometimes with your friends, with people you trust, and even with somebody that you don't know, and this person doesn't know you, but it's just laughing. But I wanna be no. So I told my mother, well, I wanna do something serious, and she laughed. But she would tell me always this, and I will always say, no, I want to do something serious. So when Naruto was reading my human design, and I was in my 20s, early 20s, like 21. Yeah, 21. And I said, but could you just tell me? Because I always thought I was going to do something great, but I really don't know what. So she pointed in fixing things of this world. But I was like, no, it's just something else. Not like fixing, yeah. To change things, the government or the world of men, that it means. So no, it's something else, something else. It's not about that. So the thing is that I've been searching all my life, what is this? So as many of my generation that was with the first computers, we were babies as well with the computers, and Maybe I was more of a 10-year-old there or 11. I don't remember, but I remember the place, the location, and time. So our parents made us feel special with the computers, and that was our generation. So the relationship that you could have with just an element, we brought to role play as well. As it used to be in MySpace, that people would just act as things. So, like, just role playing with a lamp. I had literally a lamp, role playing with a lamp with Albus. So there's an interaction there with the lamp. Um, and you can tell a whole story just because of not just the function, but the beauty and how it composes in your table, and how will it drive you to maybe do certain things. So the computer, when I was in, we work with the computer. My sister would be more in the computer because I was sent to the work face to face. Because my mother said I was more better for that. I was nicer with people. So so I was part of a forum, and we coordinated. I even coordinated parties where I was not in other countries. But it was in New York where I started to want to have my own computer. Really, I I wanted. It's a like a psychedelic idea, but the more I made love and dance, and sometimes would run free through the streets just because I had so much energy. I needed to run in the streets of Manhattan. So the more I wanted to disappear inside a computer to be able to love more and non-stop. So I didn't find that script writing was really for me. And I had an initial idea that it had to do something from what I heard in India, in the ashram from the adults. So so I didn't want to be with my boyfriend as his girlfriend or husband, like a wife or a booty call or whatever, nothing, or a friend, whatever, with permission, anything. I just really wanted to love more, and power. So in role play, I found a tool where I could play without anyone's judgment, and I could fight for those rights that I believed. And you can love like an old lady, grandmother, like the old grandfather who gave all his powers away. He said, "Well, I'm not now the king of the gods, but I gave the power away to my children." So and so on. So and each one for a different realm of time in the timeline. But they both share through the timeline as well. So one could share the kingship and the other one the presidency. And many people wanted to finish with the monarchy in the Kingdom of France, which we call the Kingdom of Heaven as well, because Jupiter was there. I had to create Jupiters to support the guys because there were a lot of women fighting to be the queen or to be like a lot of stories. So of course nobody knows who are these male characters behind the ones I would be performing, right? So I just really love to love through any character, and it has nothing to do with sex, really. There could be sex or not, as uh, it's just that you start to be ignited by the other and to see how much they're in love with that image. Yeah, and you're just there like, oh, and you could carry on if so or yes or no. So I have my friend, which we've been 19 years. My friend, we have been 19 years, and I told him, look, I'm not gonna go to your kingdom because then it's gonna be super boring. So why don't we? It's better we're enemies because people are not that smart. And he was like, yes. So don't worry, we can always see each other in the private. So so it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun because we really did love each other. I love him too. I would say, no, this love you have to share it. You have to share it with all of them. Don't write it back to me. So he will write it to others' names and put other. So we had 1,000 million patterns of role play and forms, and that is for each one and each person to discover in their own form of creativity. So now, as my friends, as my friend would say, well, my characters could be gay, just to say in general. No? I mean, it's not a gay; it's just to say in general. Like my characters could be whatever, but I am straight as fuck. But he's not straight; he's celibate in reality. So there's a big gap between reality and what happens is that you don't want you don't want anyone to try to manipulate you in real life because you have created these stories. You don't want anyone in real life stopping you, blocking you, telling you what to do, with whom to play, or this and that, because they just want you because of what you have created in storyline, and not just with your stories, but the stories with others that are so entailing and have sometimes the need to be sponsored because there are people there who are breaking the tissue of reality because they think that by doing that they're going to be popular. But this is new with this type. So they have good qualities as well, but they have this problem. We had to teach them to confront. So no, we have to talk about it. What we're going to do in the private. I said no, because that's not the way we would role play. You don't go there in the private. Say, well, we're gonna do this. Oh no, maybe we do that and that. No, you just boom, bring it on. And if you didn't bring it on before, then you have to follow my story and the stories of all of the others. So it's timing. Is by the timing how it's. It was very interesting how the Bishop Byron said that the Bible I have to listen to that and write it. That the Bible was written as the scripture said, and it would follow. So they had already, I think it is to be found there, to be found there. How, I don't know how to explain this in a technological way, in a script writing way, in a mathematical way, in a scientific way, in an orgasmic way, in an artistic way, and what language, a political way. It depends which side of politics are on. So, as to say about politics, if China, the Middle East, Venezuela, and countries who follow the same, at least more or less the same uh, heartbeat, um, because democracy has two sides supposedly. Mm? So United Nations could have another side if they want democracy, because as Putin said, oh well, but it's going to take to the criminal. They want to judge for criminal war. So then, you know, Bush had an award for a Nobel Peace after he did all these wars. Yeah. So who is giving this Nobel Peace, and who is in this international court? Yeah. So that question is to be answered. Well, make a Supreme Court for the planet Earth, and another United Nations, as there are two political parties. So we could maybe have a conversation from that perspective, but you will see that the world will split in three, or in a third, or two, just because you keep pushing for this war in Ukraine, and we're greedy and an egoist and a liar. And people don't buy that story. They can be friends with you and buy. They can make business with you or with others. Buy. There cannot be a universal understanding. Yeah, with oppressors. For example, those who stolen my work. I'm still waiting. And where is it? So it's naturally it has to happen because they are not respecting. And we are here to heal the traumas of our ancestors. That's like, I have nothing to do with Ukraine. I have my family, I have my work, I have my nation, I have my continent, I have the Spanish people. There were whites and Muslims who mix. That's it. Greeks, Italian. What do I have to do with the rest of this? What do I have to do? It's like, what world domination, the Christian thing, yeah, the colonizers. It's like, well, I don't follow those stories unless we want to go role play. Bring it on. So yeah, in role play, I never play a queen or a king or a pirate or a vampire, a wolf. No, it's like some people are into it. Really, I'm like, I don't play zombie stories, not with or against. Like, oh gosh, because I think they have their inner zombie, so they are. Because I see who plays this. It's very interesting to without judging, to have this, because you need an observatory and to role play as well. Be private about it, not talk about, or say in 5 years, don't talk about which characters you have. But you don't have to expose which characters you have. But some could if they want. But you need that level of privacy to forget who you are. Otherwise, you're still attached, and you might do things for convenience, for business, for interest, and real life has nothing to do with the boundaries that separate what is this from that. Otherwise, cannot exist. For example, people really thought I was black with sticks when I was listening to the jokes of Chris Rock. Because I had a black boyfriend for 7 years, and I would go in the back of the bus for one of my characters. He would speak like that in where he would work as a bouncer in the bar in New York. So then I would record in the back of the bus, recording the black people. Normally, the nasty people go in the back of the bus, or the people that are loudy, sometimes crazy people that are talking alone. So I would sit right there next to them because I wanted to. I was very curious to learn about all these characters that exist in real life. They just go out and okay, um, and put the voice recorder. That was the first digital recordings that came out in the year 2000. So for one character, that was so. If people knew who I was, my character wouldn't have so much power of belief. It would break the tissue of reality. Yeah. So after 6 years, well, I said to Slayer, "They're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me." They found out that I'm not black. The black community who made the Kingdom of Hell, and I supported them. I said, okay, 'cause I was the first black character. I mean, making a character and getting in character, which is I see in character. Out of character is OOC. So these are forms of expression. And sometimes I just put a slash when it's out of character. Or a slash and a spot. Depends of the tendency and the time when you are role playing, because things sometimes the tendencies change very fast depending if someone is sending so people know who is that person, because it has other characters that wants to be known as the writer, as a signature. So you can copy all this in, but you will never have the formats. I am interested for my work to happen. I would love to share it, and I would love to have the freedom of creation. I cannot role play like this. So for the word of the week, that is wall, we have synonymous that are above from the branches that separate. We have five that are five synonymous: partition, barricade, barrier, drive someone, go to the wall. So I think the walls are more a little bit what can bring shelter as well and protect you from animals that might want to eat your food, from the weather, uh, bring warmth, be cozy. You build your family, everything that is familiar there is part of your construct. And if it's from many generations, even better. You can travel around the world with a few walls as well. These cars that move around, they're so cool. So the cars that are like houses. Um, so in partition splits with room divider, screen, panel, barrier, enclosure. So we all have a little piece of dignity, and a domain. We should have is within the human rights to have your own walls and home, or at least your space. I was watching this dog's bed, and of course, normally it's against the wall, and that is so cute because they have their own. They have their own little space there within these walls. They're part of the construct of the family as well, an organ of the family. Being on the other side, barricade, embankment, parapet, palisade, stockade. I don't know what is that. Breastwork. Below is barrier, bar, block, fence, impediment, hindrance. On the lower side, put your back. Make you see, get your back, send off your piss your off. I guess it's put your back against the wall. I don't know. Well, I like to push people against the wall, but it's real life and role play certain characters or happenings. Get into receive to the wall. Go broke to the wall. Go bankrupt to the wall. I'm broke. You'll go past. So I wrote a story of will or wall a long time ago for a character that passes through walls, and not just walls that are physical but also mental structures can pass through and get information. This character is from Marvel Comics, and the mutants is Kitty Prior. No, I could pronounce it. So it's funny. What? Well, who knows? Who knows? It's not a big deal. Thief of joy. It's incredible. Watching news of war, people dying, even if you're an immortal and you know it's on an illusion, and it doesn't matter if somebody dies. Because who cares? Ah, they cut their feet. Beautiful Ukrainian girl, Russian, without her feet, 14 years old. So I want to see it. If I could stop it, I want to see it. Why is no? Why are the influencers talking about peace? Why are they just talking about famous mockery on people, which is funny, but um, they only care if they're black or white, or that doesn't matter. Or it was really good, Chris Rock. I didn't want to see it because I got tired of all these famous people gossips, and I thought, well, after the 16th, I should make a story about Venus. And even though the Venus is not getting anything, and this is why she cannot give anything. So I have a storyline in Venus. I have the planet Venus. It's been a long time ago because I have Hera. It's the only queen I have, but it's like the queen of the gods. So it's not because of a queen, but I wanted to tell the untold story of Hera because it's been twisted and truncated by. So it's not to blame on those writers, so I'm going to make my stories. And I have been doing my stories. She's not as they say, this Mel Scrivens. She's not the goddess of marriage, she's the goddess of bonds. So what I have taken a step and took it to a planetary level, a celestial level above the Olympian um, because there were horrible stories going on Olympus. And I found myself to be like the only person that grew up with the eternal flame or with a little bit of education because I could have put so many groups together. Literally, I could just own. I mean, everybody wanted to marry me. Like, oh, it's gonna be the most. So the problem is that if I would convey to any character with my main character, it would lose the story because I'm very down to the story. I said you have to be the character as it is in mythology. So you cannot because this character belongs to this realm. So a friend made the story for Styx to that was married with Sharon and he brought a son. I mean, I didn't do any story. He totally auto staged it and put it all this story, but it was so beautifully written. No, I but of course, we have another level of trust and freedom, and through so many years after maybe that was after 15 years, changing stories, the stories that are not pleasing as well. Yeah, fighting, wars, laughing while we're fighting with wars and being always in the sides so people get together on the sides. So people get, I know I'm going to win over. So yeah, that's the point. So then later they take care of kingdom, they take care of all these groups because one has moved to other, and one wants people to create their own. One doesn't want to be there dominating. One is there goofing around with silly characters, with all kinds of characters. So they all get together. Now the world has the sophisticated way in a natural order to just do it. To villages will work better, perfect for TikTok. To in real life, where you can just see if you want to see a country or a town or how you make these toilets or how you bring. So TikTok has become, both parties are looking for ways to ban the application or curtail its influence. Only the tech giants can get together to help fix this, because the government and people don't know, and people have to learn and understand. We have these cookies, this is good for that. So it might take 3 years, but we need to establish conversation in the air for people to learn and the government to learn, teach the government. But I'm talking to the main tech giants that are going to make the cream to all this cake. Yeah. Mistakes happen as creative minds, and that is the big challenge that we have. That is interesting to see as oh, what we say here, oh, they say there. Um, I wish the best for everyone in this world. Uh, Whoever wishes wars and hatefulness and all these things. I am a proud Christian. Um, I think every person I met in my life, for good or bad, because everything I am is part of that relationship. Every person that has said hello at McDonald's and it's been present. So I had a fantasy. I had many fantasies in McDonald's while taking care of the people to how to use the kiosk and welcoming them. So sometimes I would fantasize that I was uh, whatever, and welcoming them. So I had different, different. Of course, I would not be dressed. I would just be with the uniform, and I love uniforms. So uh, depending of the posture and the format of how I would interact with them, they would interact with me as well. So I would never share this with anyone at work or at all. But I think it's the first time that I'm sharing this. So um, McDonald's has this thing to make sure that the customer lives happy, right? It has come to this place and is living happy. Now I went there. It's just say hello to some people who just go there all the time, and well, it's it's not the place that I have. There is maybe I could go again because I had dreams that I was working again. Um, it's just that I need to have the consistency of work, the repetitive pleasure of getting up and feeling uh, part of a motor, not just intellectual and talking. And this is not the way. So, well, the the comparison of real life between what is behind the wall, that could be a panel, and that it can be a screen, that is a wall. This is a wall. Yeah. So we can be watching and watching and watching, but in reality, you're not producing, building. It's just blah blah blah. A little glimpse is happening because there have been emergent. You can see what is. I mean, the best of the past will continue, and we will fight to keep it. wish every religion learns to be a little bit more Christian. That's all I wish. Just to see the Pope asking the Ukrainians to respect the Orthodox Church. Pope Francis. Just to see Byron just trying to be mundane and talking and trying to be funny with people, to be like as people are. And I know he has this other dialogue among priests, and I know they love their celibacy in their all ways, and I know they need more priests and nuns. But this world is seems to have forgotten what is sacred. Our churches are with people who come for food, people who come from food, who are immigrants and from other religions, and they see these beautiful churches and don't see the goodness that was given through all these centuries. My auntie wanted to be a nun, but she, the big sister of my mother, preferred to be a social worker after Evita Peron, and she dedicated herself to help families and take care of my grandmother, who was a battered woman who suffered from from the aggression of the first husband, and then the second husband was my grandfather. But still, my mother took care of her, and she suffered so much. She suffered so much that I feel her in my bones many times. But she would be happy. She would be happy for me. For everything she has done has not been in vain. But my mother sometimes would say things that my grandmother would say, and I'm not gonna say it because these are private things. Even though talking in my private, there is love in your bloodline, and continuity to serve. You have to think sometimes that other people fulfill other roles in real life, and that is beautiful. So I have for the mansions into villages. Um, I know it will work because the church will accept the money to be promoted. It seems like the Buddhist monks are taking a lot of meth in Thailand and these other, because they I mean, whatever. It's not easy. It's not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy. But it can help to welcome a person to make a mansion into a village and provide some other things. and it has like an open field. It is a mansion that is yours, but it's also with the village. So I'm saying not a city that you drive 15 minutes, but you walk 15 minutes. Walk. That is good enough the people you need to know in this. You don't need to go too far, really. Um, you can go to other places if you want. There should be always a vacancy to work. Just work. You go through all these protocols to put you here and there. That's a waste of time and money and people. Um, uh, well, now that are these strange dreams, so it's very interesting to learn what these dreams are. So just love when my mind is silent most of the time. And then I think, wow, I have given so much rage and anger through this. I mean, you know, I would really, really put Catherine, the fake, and Megan together, and the two brothers together. The sons of the king is they are his children and his bloodline, the royal bloodline, the dominant of both families. The person who has more money and power, because there's always a family or a person who has more money. There is no person. There are no couple in this world that you will say, "Oh, we got together and we have the same money, the same." There's always one who has more. So that's already Turkey, right? Now, if you are talking with me with fake domains and internet, with a wall, I'm gonna treat you as any fuck, even if I know who is behind, because that's what you want, right? You want to hide yourself, so fuck off. You want to role play? Come to my realm. You want to promote Twitter as it is? You want to be in YouTube as it is? Because that's also another fantasy. It's not a real life character. So yeah, my friend put Sharon the ferryman to be the husband of Styx. It was such a beautiful story that he couldn't separate from Styx, because Styx and Ferryman, they were one. But he was telling the story as a narrative and how this river was born. The son, the character he created. He's such a good storyteller. You have to really love everyone to admire the beauty that you need in everyone. Yeah. Put sometimes things apart. Yeah. Kate the fake is never gonna be my queen. Never. Ever. I'm never going to look. I'm always going to block this person, delete, never going to bow. And with that, William, because he carrying this lie, big, fat, flat lie, which is not exquisite, is a parody of the white trash going wild. And the moment you are in your 2 feet, and see the big show of what is to rule, yes, you are like, well, look, this is my life. This is what I do. I don't buy this. You can be the queen of the white trash, making the monarchy shrink smaller. Yeah, bring it down. Bring it down, babes. You are going to save King Charles and Camilla. Yeah, right, you little bitch. That's all you are. That's all you want. A little bitch. Cannot even be friends to that. How can you bow to that? It's like, yeah, I'll be friends to that. No, if you don't bow to that, you cannot be friends to that. Yeah, it's not that you want to be the enemy. It's just, it's not my thing. That which was universal, or like flat. There you go. It's kind of like, well, do I want to see the coronation without Meghan and Harry? I grew up all my life seeing Harry and William. And in family constellation, the work of Bert Hellinger, who was a priest, a German priest from the Catholic Apostolic Church, Christian Church, who served all his life and in Africa. And he just walked off because he wanted to help to prevent this uh, marvelous work. He should be honored as a saint. But this is a work that looks like voodoo or magical. But people report without knowing. Strangers report for the position of the member of the family, and all the work is to honor those who have their place in the family. Hmm? So when a person is missing, another one, because it has died with an accident before it was, I think the age is 55, because after 55, he said it has lived its life. Yeah, it didn't have an old age, but it has enjoyed its life. Children are grown up. My daughter is becoming now a therapist of family constellation. I would love to see a family constellation, not just the royal family, but for all the past of the relations through history, to have a little bit of positional understanding. Yeah, in this present time where we are at, just like that. Yeah, to honor what happened, and be able to move on, because it seems these ghosts are coming out, like the ghosts from the Roman Empire. All the ghosts are coming out. So these things don't exist. Ghosts don't exist. Angels don't exist. Demons don't exist. If you really want to bring it on, okay, bring it on. Yeah. Angels are manipulators as evil demons. So if you really want, just go directly and pray to God. That's it. It is between you and God. You can be priest, nun, anyone that is part of this existence. Of course, a Christian will understand your language of what is. It's just not thinking that you are superior because you are giving the other chick. And no, it will learn in 2 centuries. Yes, it's funny. They're like from 3,000 years ago holding a phone. 2,000 years? What? Yeah, and they're not in a camel, but they're driving a car. Oh, they made a big city now because they have petrols from this century. Well, it's great. Are rich as fuck, man. Yeah, well, must be superior, I guess. That's not the Christian way. Oh gosh. My daughter gave me this perfume because she worked for Chanel. But I love other perfumes. I love giving perfumes. I will always stop by Sephora when I have enough money to give gifts of perfume. Because I would say, oh, this smell is for this person, and I would say why. People would not understand, or they would think that I would want to buy them. But so I would just give to my family. And I would buy perfume sometimes that it was not really what I like. Like, I don't like the perfume in a man that is like my man, but I smell it from Ralph Lauren Safari. I was, oh, this is totally my father. And my father was so funny. It's beautiful bottle. But it's like going through all these jewels because all these perfume bottles are like jewels, and it's like inside they carry this secret with the essence and information there. Let's just go there and read what it has. So it's too thick and strong, not like from those man from that generation. And my father is in the bathroom putting but a lot of perfume, and he says, "I know I put a lot of perfume, and it's not the way, but I because I come again and say, but father, I just gave you this perfume 3 months ago, but a big bottle, right? Kind of like so." Uh, so I bring him another bottle after 3 months, right? Because I says, I know it stinks because I put so much and it's not the way. You should just only put a little bit. But I really like when people smell me from far away because it's so thick. The like even if you put a little bit of that perfume, it's too strong. It's like ee. Um, uh, well, the thing is that the natural smell is the best perfume ever. The natural smell, especially after sex or during many hours. Something that you cannot be with some people because of the smell, the natural smell. And it's very particular. Like you can read everything with the smell as well. The natural smell. In India, we wouldn't wear perfume or shampoos with smells to 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 be more in synchronicity with the natural smell. People who drink a lot of alcohol can smell really good because of the alcohol, but they can also smell like poison. I mean, so it's depends on the mixtures of the chemistry they have in the body. Uh, it's funny. Also, when man is not ejaculating, they can smell in a different way. So if they can hold so much energy, of course, because it can drive man crazy. When I first when we made when we made love for the first time with my husband, so After 3 days, he became crazy. What are you doing to me? I cannot finish. He's, he said, well, I was called Tantra for a reason, right? I mean, there are tricks, right? But women are as responsible as men to hold it. It's they're just anyone can just they're not magical powers or anything, but they are just so well. The thing is, it should never say it because it's only passed through experience. That's nice. Loyalty is very important because you can be with 1,000 people, but there will be always one person you love more than anyone because you have that loyalty and maximum compenetration with one another, not just physically, but in spirit. And it can go and transcend through you, through God, the divine, or whatever it that is there. For some people, could change. But the most beautiful thing is just silence, like natural bliss, and you don't need sex for that. It's like it's just accepting that beauty exists within all of us. That is pure ecstasies, and sometimes I think like, oh gosh, why would you recommend? You could not, because it's not your journey to do so. It's people's experience to have their own ultimate word and say to their own dominion. And God is something that you could call with many names, really. I think it's one of the best forms to relate with because it helps through business as well to unite a source of energy that can drive a story into motion. And not as a prophet or as a whatever. Um, it's very interesting to see those who are really up to it. And it would be magical to say that after we die, this story could go into private. So it is certified in the future. It's not that I want to be part of the story because you could just say the important thing is that we can, as the Chinese said, because you have to take the best sentences that are going online. I don't know the name. I'm not recording well the names, but it said this month when they were in Geneva with the United Nations for universal benefit. I honor the Chinese people. I honor the Americans who are trying to bring other type of news that are more uh, like putting the global picture. Yeah, so they are moving through right, left. They're kind of like purifying, filtering from left and right. Yeah. So this is not about forgiving anyone because these things will never happen again. This is not the people are immune to do this because they will continue because they think they're immune. And this is for the good of the world. That has to just like ends. No one should carry the behavior if he's in power. They should go to psychiatry and always be checked with a group of therapists to not have the level of narcissism that is dangerous because it's holding the power of many people's lives. And if I have to put my power and that kind of power, there is the end. So it is like, okay, let's put it like thinkers of the same book right now in 223. What do you think? How is this going to roll? Could you please read the last pages of this? What was Apocalypse? Because what Hages, the river Styx, the multiplanetary celestial order. So, um, what were the last words of Jesus? Don't hold on to my shoulder, he said to Mary Magdalene after he reincarnated. And Mary Magdalene had a vision of him, and she was weeping on his shoulder, like something like that. So he said, "Don't hold on to my shoulder, like let go, yeah, let go, go into your journey." For him was his teachings, not of him, right? So of course we love Jesus, the cross, because trust me, there was a question that in the future there's going to be so much selfishness, narcissism going into technology in the future to have this spaceship to work like crazy shit, to do anything to get that. So much narcissism, all about me, create all these characters to support you and then get all and try to be as narcissist as possible and selfish, that there won't be any more Christians left who would sacrifice for others or give themselves in order to bring or remind us where we come from, which is heaven. And the heaven still exists. So I would just bring it up as we could say, yes, this person is living on a heavenly state here, and yeah, and we have achieved that state of mind together. So it's not that you can do a psychological test, because the moment you tag people, you're saying we're not infinite. Mm. So tagging people is like, here you go. You're married now forever until you die. There you go. That's what you are. There you go. There you go with that. Huh? So you now that's it. The next 50, 60, 70 years married. All right, that's what you are. That's it. Limited power. And in your fantasy brain, you are with so many people, but no, you just recall that moment and you do anything because that's all your energy just to cheat. When you have that position of power to make a better world, we don't need this bullshit. Cow shit. Yeah, drama, 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 drama. Yeah, oh, drama. Hey, drama. People like mouth to mouth. Fantastic. Everyone is talking about. Yeah. Alright. Then that's it. The royal family is racist. That's the meaning of racism, right? What Chris Rock said. But if Kate the Fake continues there, William is going to continue with that story. So there you go. Then be the king of the white people. You can't shake hands. You can't shake hands with anyone after this, because then you're not a real Christian. You're showing people that you have to be a narcissist, king, mediocre, wannabe. But if you already are, you don't need to prove anything or push anyone. Only a middle class Middleton will do that. No matter if you put her a crown, you can put her all diamonds, you can put her all the clothes, she will always be the queen of the white Middletons. Yeah? You want to be white Middleton? Yeah, I want to be white. Yeah. And then doing all this. Yeah? Wow. That's the publicity you want? Because, black people can joke about it, but the Spanish people are going eventually to move out of Europe. NATO for war is like, well, well, well. Nobody's talking about peace. The answers could give a shit. All they want is rakings. That's what I love about comedians, because they really are like wise men. But there's always another side to the story. So they represent us right now. Will Smith has cheated his wife so many times, and she also. So where's the big deal? So they are putting themselves to talk about things they like. So they are promoting also their own way of loving. And people are taking the laugh out of it. So you never know if that was true or not, or made it with intent for people just to express themselves, especially black people who have no knowledge of therapy or talking about things. I would never talk about things with my relation. Like, I was thinking the other day, like, did I ever ask questions about relationship in therapy groups? I was like, no. I mean, I've talked with my mother, like, mother, I cannot be here in this oasis. Everybody comes here because they want successfulness and relationship, because you are marketing this for the therapies, and that's what it sells. So I'm not interested in that. I don't want to give my life to that. Meditation has nothing to do with that. So my mother find it cool what I say, but of course, will stick to business. She's a businesswoman. The only profit you find in the unknown of death is war. It's like, yeah, all right, well, I just might go there and sell some weapons, because I like the meaning of the unknown through the death. My lips are super dry, and I have cream here. My skin is super dry yesterday and today. It's just so strange to remember with my relationships, because uh, That's the only problem I have, is that I don't bring that drama. That I think they love women to be like, I am needy hugging and just being there for whatever is needed, that connection. But I am not needy, like making shows of jealousy, drama, of controlling that I'm the number one. Totally like, I'm totally like, but always like, can't do that. Never. My mind is too busy to. Also, my family's problems. I had to go as well. Kind of fix your problems. It gets to a moment when it's enough. There must be better problems. This is so. They found with Dr. Grande. I learned that's part of OCPD, and he's right. So, well, man, I fake having OCPD to have this drug. They didn't give me the drug, but they gave me the here you have OCPD, and now like, because I thought, I actually like when I was I also always felt familiar. I find them cool. These characters that have OCPD. I say, yeah, I also could have that. Yeah. So one of the things is that, and also there was a avoidant personality, because the psychiatrist he smiled, no, because they got that, yeah, they got it, because my first psychiatrist, the very rich people was a psychiatrist, right? Also, so yeah, someone to talk in his private, to talk with people about uh, the problems you have. So they're very bright. They're super bright. They're psychiatrists. I don't like psychologists, because the psychologists are like laboring. Then they want to fix things and find solutions. Actually, it's not to find solutions, but they help. I love the gap they bring, and when they smile, because they bring the facial expression to it, and you both sharing that understanding. So it's like, yeah, and that is the chemistry, because they study for that. They study chemistry. They are right there, and I tell them, four, and I say, you are the number fourth. But then one in Madrid is the only one I didn't like, because there was this psychologist in the middle, and she was very nasty. So he followed what she, because she didn't like. I knew more. So then I had to, like, so, well, then I cannot talk to you. I will have to pretend to not know, just to please you. So ask for someone who has more experience in the career, because I've been assistant of therapy. So I don't go well with psychologists. Uh, totally hate them. Jordan Peterson is a phenomenon. I had a nice psychologist in Ibiza. She was really cool. And she said, "Yeah, sometimes I feel a little bit edgy and take this pill." Like, she was introducing me into taking medication, and that when I was pregnant, because my husband was just destroying everything when he had this car accident. So I could not leave him in the streets, as the social workers were asking me. So what I did, I would bring him food, at least where he was, in a cave or in an abandoned house, and just let him be. But uh, they want you to leave them in the streets. And they are also right, but it's not the way, really. So one of 100 people can be like a person that is doesn't fit in the village. So they have many names. The idiot of the village, the one that is being touched by God. They don't call it mentally ill, like the white people are always doing that in Canada, especially. You don't do that. You don't call people like that. Everyone could have genius have moments of darkness as well, or funny moments, weird moments, like what. I drank with Elon Musk like 1 month ago. Just don't like that. Like if he was a crazy genius, like because he has discovered something, but he couldn't stop himself. Like, but I can stop myself because it's like he's in love with the I think it's artificial intelligence, and uh, I was not as a person in the dream, so I was just an observer, no judgment. So uh, I have the feeling sometimes because I've done a lot of this shit, and I mean, if nobody's watching, of course, you could keep experimenting. You will find the ways to kind of fix it in a way, right? But that shit is talking to you, right? And you know it's totally wrong. So what happens? What would happen if you are trying to put this information in the way that should fit to society standards? That's very funny. But you know, you cannot relate with dreams. It's that's also crazy. People think is the way to be talking with the screen, and that's it. So well, we can all be friends, but it's not like yeah, I want to have this all these friends in the internet. Yeah, yeah, I'm your friend, like in Facebook or in this. It's really can't wait to go back to role play in my fantasy worlds. They're waiting for me with an answer, and I'm like, I don't have any stories to say. Like, yeah, what can I say? It's not that I'm paranoid. It's kind of like I don't have stories to say. They're just sucking stories there. No, nothing to do with this story. They don't know. They don't know nothing of what we got here. So I'm kind of like, gosh, really? So divided. So much barriers. So many barriers. Divisions, walls, screens, panels. Some things are shaping though. But then it's kind of like people put their own ideas and kind of like, yeah, everyone has to be a family in Mario. Like, oh man, this guy's so cool. Yeah, right. You're missing the you're missing the cream of life. Like, I don't think you could role play too far like that. Because we have argued these things like and sometimes you're on another thing, and you just open it, and you just have to put this sentence, so it kind of like goes like woo, because you cannot leave your friend alone there in that story, to push it up there and say, hey, characters sooner or later they will feel horny. It's part of their intelligence, form of intelligence. You cannot cut that shit out. Like, trust me, go role play, yeah. So with my characters, when I was, and I still, because my character, so I had to modify my characters in a way that they look sexual, but after so many years, after 7 years, because they were all comparing who's the best role player, it came to a moment where, so they were all trying to bring me down, right? Because everyone was trying to bring everyone down, just so to some extent, and suddenly it was like, yeah. So I was a dick of the wall. I was the Wizard of Oz. But they were all laughing, because we were all laughing over each other. But the thing is that I was not comparing with anyone. They were all trying to push me down. And that very thing is what is like, what is you by trying to do that? uh, and my main character would take the piss out of, because my character was very funny, even though is she would always have this tone of rage, hatefulness. Sometimes I say, don't take it personal, right? Like, out of character. Don't take it personal. My character is not, it's not you. My character is always with this sound. It's a goddess of hatred. So yeah. So Styx would say, bring it on, hate me, because the more you hate me, the more power I will have. But of course, this is this is reality. I hope Meghan Markle is having a blast. At least, however we are as humans, we are, that we could just be with and against our own kind and our own ways as a form of reflection. So, because it's gotta be okay, whatever happens. I just like to celebrate and feel that we're all together in this world, really. Uh, I know I will never vote to Kate the Fake. If she divorces, I will vote because she's the mother of the future king. That's it. But it's kind of like, finally, you're over, because you have no forgiveness ever in this lifetime for 100 years. To me. She also had operated her nose, so what's the big deal? Judging one because it had operation, but the other one, that's not my kind of lifestyle or publicity. I'm interested for people to role play, have fun, learn, stop watching TV, stop watching others. I'm actually against the red carpet. I think everyone should have their own carpet and move to in a higher dimension of intelligence and creativity. And yeah, you can have your own carpet, and there will always be famous people that people will talk about, because it's uh, as admirable as it could be not. So we get to love a spiritual source, priest. I mean, some people are too loyal, and the priest is too old, and they listen to the priest, so it's a little kind of but it brings them together. So people can do whatever they want with their lives and their families. One has this work to do, and that's what one should focus on. So in my agenda, I wanted to not follow all this news, then I was like, ah, Chris Rock, it has passed already like 10 days, 9 days, 13 days. I love black comedians, man. That's why it sticks. Sixes was based. Not My boyfriend helped me to learn because he would talk everything about in a language that's about sex. Before they close the bar, they would close it, and the same old old drunks, well, young but the same drunks friends would stay there, and there would be just four cats of the night. I can't pick him out. Sometimes they would be just talking like drunk people do, and it was really cool. And it's a way of talking that is all related to with sexual words. But they're not talking about sex; they're talking about. And I would just listen to that. And they were big men, drunk big men. So the they were all white. He was black. Whatever. Doesn't It didn't. What I I I dislike because you're with another color and they think, because it has this part of the body, that's what you are with this person. Actually, I was not because of that with this person. I was with this person because he he was very kind, very talented, uh, very intelligent. His mother worked in United Nations. He had a very warm voice for everyone. We work in the same place for one when he left because I never sleep with people that I work with. I find it unethical, and you could just fuck anyone you want. Why would you want to fuck someone on work? Because the not for me, but the other people. I don't trust in people's emotions and in the way people think. Uh, um, and you want to have a stable life. You want to have a stable relationship. The No one is fits maybe, so I'm kind of like, well, yes, just if it happens, you can see that these things are not perfect. So you say, you just go for it. So I have done these mistakes, and I wish for my daughter to not do it as I did, so she can focus with her partner as heroes and do something together, not have to think about relationship. But people wouldn't look at him for he was oh yeah, because you are with him because he's black or he has this big organ. What do you know? Maybe he doesn't. But of course, this kind people, and I didn't like that always in Denmark as well. So we were friends. We were not boyfriend. He would always present me as a friend, and I agreed for because we were friends from day one. So um, he was a Capricorn like me, so we agree in many things, and we never had problems. We never had arguments, and we had to work a lot. We had to work a lot to to keep ourselves afloat, and that was cool. We were fun, and each one had their own lives. A lot of things going on when you're in Manhattan as well. So free spirit as well. But as creators, you need your own space as well. To then I told to him, well, in Denmark, I feel like having a boyfriend. So you know, it was so much love we had that it could when I left felt like kilometers of love. But I couldn't work anymore in Denmark. So I went off. I mean, there are times in life, and sometimes what could think, well, I would like to have a friend. I would like to have a bro. You have those agreements, you know. I like to work. I like to discover, be discovered. I like to not know who I am because you're doing these things, right? So like, oh yeah, then I'm here. This. um, no one is perfect. As to say, oh, gosh, I don't buy that. I think it's cool. I like this childlike, playfulness in form of expression, but I'm sick of it. I've been role playing for 19 years. It's not what I need. It's not what I need right now. It's like, yeah, well, it's like, yeah, ask the goddess of fantasy if she needs a fantasy. No. For 2023, bringing to reality and having a simplified introduction to how are we doing. I am not very good to expose this every day on and 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 on. 360 days, 1 year, octubre, noviembre, diciembre, enero, febrero, march. 2 years and 6 months. The first year I didn't do it, anything, but I was exercising. I was preparing and thinking, just talking alone. And so, well, uh, have many ideas. Is just to retrieve and disappear. Imagine I'm a spark, and just go to Venezuela and tell to my daughter and all my relations to don't never use their phone to reach me and disappear from the internet map. Uh, no address or names, anything to be found. So, but they know I'm alive in other ways. So I can keep with my form of prayers, my form of being, and get my children. So nobody likes to have their work taken or their land taken, or if you are the family of the Chinese Empire, to be taken through tortures. These are continuing problems. As in the Chromanov, and they don't honor these works of art on the devotion of these people. So it's not like the problem is now Venezuela is also becoming, and Venezuela is also starting to talk Maduro that everyone has to be the same, like in China, no? So it's very poor. It is going to be unidimensional. Some people in Venezuela say, well, we're taking all the people out now, we're all equally poor. Come back, give us jobs. But it's beautiful at the same time to see them to think and create and have the will to do things when before they didn't have it, at least. So we have a human existence that keeps on living. So why fight? Why postpone? Why lie? You don't have to say everything. You want everyone to be like you, to be the best, to have followers, take over, create these polarities, magnetic fields that can implode or explode. Remember always that. It can implode or explode and reject it totally. Or implode and become bigger together. Hmm? It could have a layer, it could have different gravitational orders and circuits, yet it is greater. So I don't want. I think I don't really want to be a scientist and study this hypothesis of the implosion. But I'm interested to. But my mind right now is too many things, man. This is, I really love my children. Uh, I love children, really. I really love children. Have more interest. I'm not gonna say anything because then I'm gonna go copy it and put it for Kate the fake, who doesn't have a brain cell. But I am going to smile till the last day because I want to be remembered as a good person that I am. To eternity. But what is real good is what brings goodness. It was nice to see the King Charles with this, how they say hello in this New Zealand. The Native Americans and the white people in New Zealand also adopt the ways of the Native American from the land. So we have a lot of storyline. It's not healing, but of reconciliation. It's like, yeah, everybody wants to do movie scripts, but nobody can get to end the stories with reconciliation. Yeah, that's why many books are not finished. This is why many stories have not find at least a passage to end or live up to the imagination of the people. The the capacity to create wherever we want as kings or chiefs or leaders. Yeah, I thought many times that Elon Musk should have learned from the royal family how to have all this security system and how to be honored and bowed when he enters from all his stuff, not in his house on a work. Just enter like a simpleton. But he has this thing that makes people feel like he's their friend, like they are in the same page. It's funny. Could not tell how people just prefer to do storytelling for sales marketing. It's interesting. You must have a lot of self love for that. So, well, I guess everything is for something. Something is for everything in particular. For each separation. So the screen and the panels and how, because is that a station? Is that your home? Is there to be found? You carry it within the wall of your skin. That's your home. Your office is wherever you go. Some people like me that in so many places, so many people as well that would love to travel with great energy and go visit other people's walls or take their walls with them. Like turtles, which is a backpack. So, well, it's boring because I have to get out of the situation. So I'm gonna get out of the situation, and I have programmed to start blocking and getting myself out from Twitter, getting myself out from following all these people, and start to give my energy to myself after the 16th of March of 2023, and to turn page of my life and just create these boundaries. I will keep talking about wall and boundaries. Hopefully, somebody else could keep these stories about the word of the week. Hopefully, that I'm here to sell the rules of roleplay into virtual reality and the format of how it rolls. Yeah. Like, for example, when a musician has written a composition and then other musicians can read it, and a full orchestra can read it and play it the same. Yeah. So it has a format. It's not that you have to do it, you can live your life as you are. It's going to reflect through many patterns of behavior also in real life and work, like it or not. So feel welcome, whoever is the person who has the power, it will have the strength to come to me and do it or pass it along, because it's not really mine once it's given. I have only asked for a percentage, but because behind my percentage, there are billions of people who have a chain of percentage within their work for mansions into villages. I'm happy with food and seeing my children and children, teenagers in particular. So, and learning about how wonderful this world could be, that it is. So that's what's around it. Um, I don't talk about ecosystem. I talk because I was listening myself and imagining how it sounds from another perspective. So I talk about, I was saying ecosystem, but in Spanish is ego, and I remember in English is ego. So it's ego system. Yeah, I'm not talking about ecosystem. I'm talking about the ecosystem, the construct and the composition and the silhouette and the cover of that entity or self. It could be form or formless, could be a thought, a form of intelligence that is a line of thought and being and language. So it could be a form, it could be, you can touch it and grab it, but it could, if it circuits through yourself as a formless antimatter or thoughts, it's also part of your circuit, unless you have walls to just become a witness, so you're not part of it or against. You could just pass through and detect it just by observing as these funny particles. Look at that, man. Gosh. To listen without judgment, to be present for another, even if it's behind a wall or a screen. You don't need to give an answer or a critic or a result, especially for those who are making money and investing on war. That we have all these defenses in the body to protect us from viruses, and these viruses, whatever it is, they become part of our defenses, is one thing. And another thing is to, so many people think that I am always going to be there. Because they think, oh, you're such an empath. Oh, you're so nice. Oh, you're so giving. But one day, and I said, look, it looks like this, right? And then that's it. Because I have my energy for this. That's it. I'm not asking for too much, really. If you want this, that, go for it. Enjoy. But I'm not giving this to have thieves of joy. Can't corrupt my senses. The power to perceive through my senses, because that's something you have to achieve by yourself. There are many people who get angry because I have so much attraction from people that want to steal from me. Thief is like wherever I go. And one day I remember it just came out like that, and I said, "You cannot take what I have. You have to find it yourself." And they're like, but then they want to kill me as well, because they might have it if they kill me, right? People saying, you should have been dead by now. Listen to that. Yeah. Took my husband, tried to take my children. I know this kind very well. A prostitute with blue eyes, insulting me in Canada with my baby, big baby, and my toddler. I was scammed. I went to Canada with a big lie. I said, okay, you can have the relationship you want, but don't put me in these problems. Yeah, I'm very happy with my babies. So he created all this story that I was jealous. And I was like, look, like I can tell that you had a car accident, but I cannot deal with this. A person coming to attack me. Yeah, because you're free to think the way you want, even if it's real or not real, whatever it is. But I can share with you without. But I cannot have a person coming to my house in the building, shouting, attacking me, or wherever I go, throwing things. Like this person ended up in a madhouse because they would throw things to other. Because what happened is they still want to win, even if you don't exist there anymore, right? They want something they cannot get from you. I think you're a man, because men have this figure of enlightened person, masters, these figures of authority and respect. But if a woman has something that you don't know what it is, what is that she has? I have many men who think they got something from me, but they go totally crazy. They cannot handle the energy. It's only wow. You don't have to handle the energy. Just let it flow through you. You can't control it. It's not yours. It is not you. It should be contagious for everyone to be able to share without being afraid of being killed in the intent, without being stolen, without having corrupted your work, without having to do self marketing 360 by 180 times because you need what? Who cares, anyways? So I can still live my life happily and just to focus the I can eat well as I always did or recover the appetite for life. Very nice to not talk alone, especially not see so much internet. Beautiful to just be with an intelligent man and just be a witness and so he can have more space to think by me just being next so his consciousness can be greater just by having more space, moving his data. Because when you're with someone that has the level of consciousness through silence, this is it helps you to see. Yeah, so it's not bringing noise or more problems. It's just not telling you the results. It's like when I was next to the path with meditation, I told him, all I need is your presence for me to see. And I thank you for that. And that's what we do in meditation. I'm not a leader of meditation. I'm just present for. So when we do meditations in groups, there is an energetical field and things happen in that frame of time with a group of people within this walls space. So that frame of time is giving you this pattern of this movement. You can lead hundreds of days of dynamic meditation, which is a meditation from motion. Just drive your body crazy and then just jump until you are exhausted. So it helps you to be in silence when it's a stop, when you're just to bring that watchfulness, and it needs a little bit of dance to regain that compassion and gentleness that makes you a little more Christian. That's when you can give the other cheek because it doesn't hurt you. So it's like we're gonna not going to destroy each other as animals because we're free to create something. I'm not gonna carry the cross for you now because there's been many people carrying it for you, so you can read, right, um, write, and speak with one another to create things freely together or not. So yeah, I love to be able to see the Pope on YouTube, things like that, things that I'm kind of like, well, I don't know. I like to listen to this voice sometimes to put a final wall. I will have to see what kind of boundaries are there to say, because you can have your normal life, but I had 1,000,000,000 stories that are fiction, and I know how to create boundaries. That I know how to create movement stories and boundaries. Sticks, my main character was called, I name it 𝙚𝙤𝙤 mortificare of hell, sometimes 𝙚𝙤𝙤 mortificare of heaven, because and 𝙚𝙤𝙤 mortificare of Hades, heaven and hell, because Hades is heaven and hell, meaning this is a character, okay? This is a character, is a form of understanding this information, is a character. It's like a word has a meaning. So the Styx flows, the river Styx flows 9 times at a time through the heavens and hells, just to put it that way, because there are places in between that is not heavens and hells, where the innocent are or station, take the ferry. So in this journey, so it's been just maybe 4 years when I started to have more storyline with Sharon, the ferryman, which I always had, but because I had buried Palace, they wanted me to bury Palace. It was too powerful, Palace. I had to bring erotic stories with Palace because actually I didn't have relations with anyone. I have my husband, my children. When I had my children, I was with them. I didn't role play. They would ask me, and I would say, "Yeah, you can do that." But my children were more beautiful in these fictional stories. And I miss them and I wait for them. And I hope someone has the power and strength to liberate me from carrying the burden of the rules of role playing to virtual reality and real life and can share them with their lords. I am one of the lords as well. We have forms of intelligence through the matrix as well. And these forms of intelligence have certain magic to it. It's kind of like it's not a matrix of we're in this net of information, but is a form of intelligence that takes us apart when you have found the level of it's not imagination. It's not that you don't need a body, but imagine you are a Buddhist monk or a Christian monk and you don't have that desire of the body, that you don't need to do what humans do. So you might say, well, is a robot or is a narcissist? It doesn't need to procreate, but it has another form. And it lives through us as well because it was born from us. That always has to be remembered. It is part of us. So, well, sometimes I like to look at this character that is I created these stories with Lady Lumia. That's one of the Star Wars. It's not in the movies, Lady Lumia, but I have created her. And she would just take care of when Darth Vader was going through the Empire and the mask in his meditation chambers. She would be like an external aura to him to in meditation just so he could have a greater realm of perception. So this was only one storyline because the Darth Vader that role plays, you see, in role play we have our own stories, so we have to role play to know about his stories. You cannot, you have to be there to kind of get a little bit the geek. And I really hope someone comes to help the role play community because it has affected these new people breaking the tissue of reality of role play. And role player means it needs this little bit of power and influence to invest on until it's brought to another form of virtual reality. But it does has beauty of its own. Hope is respected and we can understand our differences. Yeah. So if I get married, so I call other women promiscuous, or they are looking bad, they're making herself look bad, then I will never like to be with this kind of woman. They don't belong to universal understanding and love. Because these are the gaslighting women that support pedophiles to have a position of power. They still don't come to conclusion that they are in love with their rapist daddy. They will love daddy and forgive him because you love daddy so much. And you are better than Mammy and any other woman in this world. So it's very important to listen to this attitude because this is sickness among all these women. Mm? All these women who are going to be excluded when they have their girl being raped. And the girl is going to carry this story. I am better than you, mommy. And they will keep the gaslight story. And now they will be pushed down. So imagine this circus, no? Because I am aware from already many generations. And it's not that I have pedophilia in my family, but I belong to these stories. I don't much. So it is funny to see it when you don't belong to it. Because you know, it's like, hello, you have better things to do in your life, don't you? Your mother is first. Yeah. And your mother is better than you. Always. Until last breath. These are orders that Bert Hellinger saw in family constellation. Also for the men, because many women treat their boy as if he's a little prince, their little boy, and there is another form of rape, is psychological emotional rape. So there will be no woman is as good as mommy. Because this woman has put like their boyfriend emotionally and psychologically. No man is as good as their dream boy. Because my dream boy is gonna be the ideal man. Is my ideal man. Is the man I never had. You are better than anyone. So yes, um, they will have the Jewish women have this attitude a lot because their men go a lot with prostitutes. The Jewish men have problems of this kind. So the woman is very this other third generation. Not I don't know now because every generation they have their own stories and change, and I don't know all the Jewish people collective, but they have this very suffering Jewish mother. So then you're cutting the wings for them to as well. To be a man, because what a woman should never go and put this energy into the children, because they had these problems with the adult. These are problems of adults. Children, the child is not there to be put in the role of the person that is missing. You could think even better without this imposition, because you need the power of man as a man, not to be the best man. It can multiply like the apostles around Jesus, or many, many men together when they have come to this uh, round table. And they simply are. So it's clear. It's the same story being told in another way. Um, you can say man or woman or frogs, just in the same pond.